What's good, fam? Welcome to Subs Over Dubs podcast anime review of Vinland Saga Season 2. We're going to break down episode 22 and 23. So, let's start off 22. We see Thorfinn eating the 100 punches up until Snake pulls up and is like, hey, what's going on? And throws Thorfinn off. And, he looks and then he gets caught with one. And then I guess that's when the real damage, because he was eating everything before, he was kind of moving with the punches and absorbing a lot of the blows versus when Snake pulls up, distraction for that 1 second, and he gets really, really hit. But he just took a beating to get that opportunity to talk to Canute, because this new form of Thorfinn and the way he walks his life, he only resorts to violence if he absolutely has to. So I don't know. How do you feel about what you've seen your boy become, the human punching bag?
I mean, I kind of respect the development he had, but at the same time, man, I be trying to see this man. He really about that action again. Like that's what I really want to see. 'Cause I know ain't nobody there really can do nothing to him. Like I was all hyped once he fought Snake for that little bit of time, but then they just gonna end that. Like, all right, back to about peace. Like, it's tough.
He only does when he absolutely has to, and you was all hyped when you heard him like it's only 100. I'll be all right, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought he was gonna go down there and get ready to handle up, but just talking.
Listen, he doesn't have to kill people, but I myself too would like to see him disable people. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, man, just move out my way, and get him on.
That's what I'm saying. So
wait for a little bit. You don't gotta kill nobody, but I think hopefully in the future we might see some of that, because again, I think he's just his way of life, that way of life in general, it doesn't stand the test of time. Sure, things have changed in the modern era when it comes to slavery and stuff, but at the end of the day, violence and the threat of war what ultimately brings peace. In those times they're conquering each other. They're trying to get that power, but at the end of the day, in today's times, what keeps the peace is the threat of war. No one messes with the U.S. because people we're allied with, the threat of the amount of nuclear bombs we have. So it's all right, if you want to take it to that level, we can go there, but no one's really trying to push it to that limit. So with Thorfinn, this can be interesting to see as we continue the series, and if they make a season 3, that's another thing we'll talk about next. Is how he's going to keep this mantra of not resorting to violence as the last option. He's going to be forced to Jesus Christ. He's going to be forced to make a decision, or he's going to have to. What is he going to be? He's going to be cornered, and he's going to have to basically resort back to violence to stand for his beliefs. Because not everyone else is going to just have a conversation and just walk away. So, yeah, we'll see about that. But we see him finally get face to face with Canute. First off, Canute's filling his face and he's sizing up Thorfinn, and he's beaten up so much he can't necessarily identify if that's him, but just kind of based on, I guess, his gut feeling, he kind of feels like, okay, this is probably him, because maybe he feels he's such a talented warrior, only he could be one of the ones to kind of take that type of beating and still be standing.
Yeah.
But we see him go back and forth with Canute, and Canute's basically, they're both preaching their ideals. And then this was a solid part of the show. Basically Canute telling him this is what I have to do to save the Vikings, because this is all they know. But his idea is going to ultimately bring peace and a place for the Vikings, versus Thorfinn on the other end is trying to save everyone else, and he himself is a Viking. So there's a lot of yin and yang there. Canute,
I see both sides.
Yeah. And I think that's what this whole season's been about. It's okay, season 1 we've seen the action part of the war, what war is, and then on this season 2 we're seeing what war causes and the after effects, the ripple effects that it has on people, the cities, and just the mindsets of the people affected. You have people like Einar, who's been essentially raided twice, and he's had everything taken away from him. So all he feels is anger, versus someone with Thorfinn. He just feels resentment and sadness because he was the one doing all the taking from people, just like Einar. So who is he to, cast a stone when he's been, breaking glass houses his whole life, essentially? But not knowingly, but I mean, end of the day, he still did it.
He's doing it for revenge, though.
But does that revenge? But if you think about it, yes, he was doing it to revenge his father. But what does that have to do with the countless people he killed? That had nothing to do with it. They're not part of his father's revenge.
No, but some of them did run up on him, though. So
Well, yeah,
he
I
got to
mean-
defend himself at some point. But
Yeah. But there's those times where he inadvertently got innocent people killed. So you remember in season 1, that older lady found him hurt, killed him up, bandaged him, and they get raided, and I think they get killed. And it's just like, that's when it starts to hit him like, these people did not know me. They took me in, they fed me, they got me rested up and whatever, and then I inadvertently got them, either if they
But-
didn't get killed, they get
at the
savaged.
same time, I mean, he still was just a kid, so he didn't really know
Hey,
much about it. Like,
I
he
mean,
just had a one-track mind at that time, so
But-
I don't think he.
but you're still not thinking about the other people affected. Yeah, he's a kid, and maybe.
Oh no, I am, but I'm just saying. like, what are you trying to say? Like,
I'm just saying, regardless of how you said, regardless of why he did it, what age he was, those other people still got to live with it.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. That's why he's feels the resentment, regardless of how old he was. He still did those things. Those other people still went through those things. That's why when he said, Einar, if you want to hit me or if you hate me, it's okay. It could have been you I attacked, and I've done what that's happened to you to countless others. Who am I to like sit there and decide who deserves what when I've done countless of bad things throughout my life? Whether he knew he was doing it or not, he still did them. It had lasting
I
effects.
didn't say he didn't do it. Like, I was confused on what we was talking about. I was like, where you going with this?
I'm only just trying to present like where we're at with season 1 to season 2, and kind of like the balances. You see the character Thorfinn go young assassin, hell bent on revenge.
Yeah,
He lost
the other
sight.
man was crazy.
He lost sight of who his dad was, because all he knew is, okay, if you're a warrior, if you run away, you're a coward. Warriors fight.
Mm.
And he didn't. Now, when we were at this point, he's went through the full, reverse 360 or 180 in this case, where he understands the people who were left and were able to walk away from fighting are actually sometimes stronger than the people continue fighting, because they understand like fighting is not the only way. His dad showed him that early on, and he didn't understand. With the first scene in the first episode, he saved a person who was basically on their deathbed anyways, gave 2 valuable resources with the lambs, I believe, for someone who was dying anyways, and it just didn't make sense. But now, probably now he understands, okay, life has meaning, regardless of the life was fleeting or not, it still is worth something. So I say all this to say this. Canute has his vision and what he wants to accomplish, and you have Thorfinn, who's trying to bring about his way of doing things, and that's why he want to have these negotiations of peace, because who else has tried it? Everyone else will look at this as trivial. Why would you even do that? They're here to take our land, and yet he's able to have that conversation. And to be honest, not gonna lie, I'm a little upset that Canute just up and left. I don't know how you feel about that. Like, just
we skipped past the
oh, go ahead.
22. Let's talk about how the Canoe thought he was out here stopping the waves.
Oh,
Boy,
it was just, I think the whole point of the Canute trying to stop the waves is just he's trying to show Thorfinn, like, at the end of the day, this is how strong I am. I've got all these armies. I got all these people around me. You cannot touch me. Even now, I'm gonna tell the waves to calm down. And obviously the waves didn't stop, but he was just showing Thorfinn, it doesn't matter how strong I am, just because I have these beliefs and I got how powerful I am, things in nature of God wills it is just gonna happen regardless. So I have to do everything else to achieve my goal. So I think that's all he was trying to illustrate. It was weird at first.
Yeah, I know. It was just funny because I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Like,
Like,
he on some, he's out of it. But in reality, he was just trying to show Thorfinn that, hey, no matter how powerful I am, there's things in this world that I cannot control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do everything and anything else that I can do to achieve my goals, and that's part of the reason why he's invading Catil's farm.
And then at the end, he hit him with that. You don't like it?
Stop me.
Yeah, I know.
And it's and then you see another change in Thorfinn, because basically he's saying, if you want to stop me, do what Askeladd did. He killed my father. You're gonna have to do the same to stop me. But you see the change. He's still within his mindset is like, I'm not gonna turn to violence unless I absolutely have to. I will run before that. And you see him kind of falling. He's at this point, he's following the same steps his dad did. He didn't want to go to war. He left. He went all the way in Iceland or wherever they were, where it's just so far away. They had to come and get him to force him to go to war. They're gonna attack their village. So again, he's in a similar state that Thorfinn is in now, where he's not going to fight unless he absolutely has to. And for Thor, his dad, during that time, he had no choice. He had his family there. Like he was probably the only really warrior capable of fighting, but he couldn't defend everybody. So this is my only gripe. I get it. Like, he found respect for Thorfinn because he's seen him become a ruthless killer to, I guess we can say, benevolent, righteous person who's trying to do better. But I still don't like the fact that he just like took the boats and left. That conversation
changed him. He hit him with the talk no jutsu. Like,
listen,
that thing was powerful. Ooh, Paul.
Ooh. That conversation, like, I get it. It could have been pretty effective, and he was bewildered at the fact that he's never had negotiations where they're
like somebody always try to like
literally
play him in a way. So he's like,
Usually there's some type of backhanded scheme or something, but he literally just said, "Well, what are you gonna do about it? If I'm going to take the farmland," he's just like, "Well, I'm just gonna run away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run." So it's just like, I guess he caught him off guard because there's nothing, there's no scheme here. So I get it. It threw him off. It's a chuckle. It's so different that someone would even think of bringing this up as a potential peace talk. But I don't see, after you do that much amount of damage to just walk away, I don't think it's.
I mean, I thought he was going crazy again because bro started laughing. Like, laugh. Yeah, I thought he was getting mad. Like, I thought he was finna try to tell him to attack Thorfinn at that point.
You think this is a game? Like, you think I just did all this? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna see some Thorfinn action, but
just walk away. Yeah, and that's the only thing. My only gripe about it. Like, sure, the conversation meant something. It was different. He was thrown off by it, but for him to like do that amount of damage and just walk away and leave it alone because he feels as though that he has a new ally in Thorfinn, he's gonna pick up whoever he can't save, that Thorfinn's gonna be the one to like bring them together. Like, yes, it was just kind of
words changed.
Huh?
So them words changed him right there.
Man,
he said, "Don't make it too much work for me."
I was just like, man, this is not.
I mean, someone was cool with it, like I forgot his name though.
His vice captain,
yeah,
as well. Like, you have the other guy who pulled up.
Wolf. I think it was Wolf.
Yeah, to pull up. Not him though. The other guy. The other general that originally came to get Thor. He was with them fighting. He was asking, when can we raid the farm, because I forgot his name. That guy, they weren't happy with the decision. So essentially, he went back to, I think, England and disbanded majority of the army, and then he became the king that the people accepted, because before he was going around taking everyone's stuff, being a conqueror.
End up getting more allies.
We don't know that yet. He just got the trust of the people thus far. He has an ally in Thorfinn, in the fact that he's going to assist him in basically picking up where he can't get to and saving people. But I just still think what Canute told Thorfinn was critical is like, he was like, "How where are you gonna run to?" He's like, "I can't tell you that." And he's like, "Well, eventually, my, you know, I'm gonna reach you eventually. I'm conquering all these lands. We're gonna cross paths again. What are you gonna do then?" And
I think deep down that Canute know that he's still not gonna give the support. Thor build the army, like Canute not gonna be able to stop it. That's why he's trying to change at the same time.
but here's the thing: I don't think Thorfinn would necessarily build an army. He'd gather a
Yeah,
group
like
of people, but like they're following Thorfinn. They're gonna pick up and take some of the same values. They're not gonna be looking to fight, not to the death, anyways. And I don't think there's that many people skilled enough to do what Thorfinn does and really just like disable people.
he might start training. You never know.
We'll see, man. Like, and this is my thing with this anime.
I also like the fact that Tyr came back. I thought he was dead. My boy was gone out there. And they ain't showing for a few episodes. I thought he was out there. I thought
He's old, man.
Thought he was gone.
And here's the other thing, man. Like, oh man, Einar needs to let. I get it. She kind of touched everyone in a way, but Einhard. But
I mean, he good now. He focusing on the new path.
or not Einhard. What's her name?
Or not yet.
Arnide. Yeah. She. I guess she had an influence on a lot of our cast and stuff, but man, in my opinion, for 23 episodes, I think we could have cut this down by 5 to get a lot of this across. But like a lot of this was dragged on for too long. Ending wasn't terrible, but it was definitely anticlimactic.
We got one more episode.
It's just a touch up. He's gonna reunion with his family, and then we'll see, kind of cliffhanger into next season.
That's what you think. See, my theory is
They're gonna get attacked.
Yeah, like the village get attacked at the moment he get there, and it's gonna change him back. That's what I'm hoping happen. But at the same time, like, I mean,
I don't think he'll change him back. We might see him actually fight again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We'll say this: that would be an excellent way to get people back into the series, because you would kind of combine the people who really like the first season, and you'll keep some of the people from the second season.
Yeah.
If they were to go that route, I don't personally think that's gonna happen. And if it does happen, let's say they do get attacked, I don't think he's gonna kill anybody. But
might not kill nobody, but they gonna know not to just
run up on him,
come to the village like that.
But I'm not gonna say I would like to see it, but I would be interested to see if, let's say they get attacked, right, and his sister or his mom basically gonna get killed. If they get killed in front of him. If that was to change him back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he doesn't go full genocide Aaron style where he's taking out everyone's dying, but that would make it compelling. But I don't see it happen. But that's a good. I wish what you just said comes to
the way
fruition.
anime be going now. I feel like it could happen.
This is a very different anime.
But even if you don't kill him, so that means like whoever attacked the village, if he lets them go, then they gonna end up coming back with the army. So then that way he gonna have.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think.
That's the only way to make a season 3. You can't just let this man go live off in peace. Nobody gonna watch the show no more.
I mean, that's part of the problem with the season 2. It's just been super, like,
It had its moment.
It had a few moments, but not for as much as it dragged on to build this new Thorfinn, to build Arnheid and Einar, and it helped change him. We've seen a progression of Thorfinn's who he is. He went from like basically suicidal, I don't care about my life, it has no meaning, what am I living for, to basically regret, to now he's like, I want to do better and help save those around me, because I know what war does to people. I've seen it firsthand. I was a slave. I've seen how it affected others that were slaves, and I want to make a difference to make sure this doesn't happen again, which is cool. But like, we'll see. Yeah.
But I see it coming. It can't end on a peaceful. It can't end on a peaceful note like that. Like, something has to happen.
We'll see.
Like, he's gonna have the reunion. It's gonna be good for a while. Then I say the second half of the show, the violence gonna come.
I'll
somewhere.
say this. I have a high. There's gonna be a high likelihood, unless that happens, high likelihood that there's not gonna be an animated season 3. because the general acceptance of this season 2 is nowhere near season 1. And everyone's gonna say, "Oh, if you only like action anime, blase blase."
Exactly. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of people. The general public responds well to good action drama. This is how it goes.
exactly. So,
Story-driven animes definitely have a place, but when you start off with season 1 and you switch gears so abruptly with season 2, I don't think there's much room for a season 3 to do something of this nature again, unless what you just said happened. There has to be a critical.
not gonna lie, I probably won't watch it if it don't happen.
Yeah. I would still, just being an anime watcher,
check it
I
out.
would still watch it.
I'll check it out, but it won't be like
A must watch.
Yeah.
You'll see it when in the same way. I mean, this podcast kind of compels me to watch it, see it through, but I wouldn't blame anyone like yourself to be like, you know what, I'll see it whenever maybe it's finished, I'll binge it and just to say I watched it. But I can understand why people would be a little bit less inclined to like, oh, I gotta see this. Like, yeah, Vinland Saga 1, you can call it mindless, brainless attacking, violence. I mean, hey, that's what the Vikings were. Vikings were violent people back then. Season 1 encapsulated everything about that really well. Season 2 encapsulated everything that happens on the back end, where you're on the other side of the violence really well.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, not everyone cares to see that. Unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is. So for everyone in Crunchyroll comments, I read them every now and then just to see the sentiment. If you like season 1, you can't like season 2. There's no middle ground for most people in their minds. Like, you can't be critical of season 2 and like season 1 without being called, demon or action slayer, action anime Andy or anything like that. There's no in between. I personally think season 1's better than season 2, just from every perspective. Like, for your average fan, for more inclined storytelling fans, season 2 has its place, but it's gonna appeal to a smaller audience. And hey, man, if you're a part of that minority group, hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just, that's not what everyone wants to see. And anime, for the most part, they're making shows for money. They're making these shows to make a profit. And Vinland Saga 2, without me looking at the numbers, I know most people are down on season 2 versus season 1. What do you prefer more?
Oh, season 1 for sure.
Most people are gonna say season.
I mean, season 2 has only been about like that one area. Like on season 1, they actually travel different places. They fought different people.
So it's a little bit more.
Like, so it ain't really like it's like a side scene. Like,
Let's just say, and I agree with that. Let's say season 2, you kind of got the same outcomes and things that happen, but they're moving more. Like, they're at least felt like they're in different locations. Maybe Einar and Thorfinn run into Arnhein's husband in another city or something, and then that whole situation happens just in another city. Would you felt a little bit different? It would have felt different to you at all, or just because they're on the farm the whole time, it just doesn't feel like anything much has happened?
that's a tough question. I mean,
It's the same thing, but the fact
like
that they
it's
haven't
still
really moved.
based on the same area though. Like even if he did run off into it, like I don't know, I feel like it's still the same.
And that's part of the problem with this season 2, where you have a big development of Thorfinn, but some of the things that caused him to be developed in the first place, a lot of this was dragged on, in my opinion, and long-winded, and that's why ultimately most people aren't gonna like season 2. Only the super diehard Vinland Saga, Peakland Saga fans. And I like Vinland Saga like most people, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm season 2 a lot slower. Definitely good contrast to season 1, but I just feel like some things could have been done better. Do I know exactly how they could have been done? Not necessarily off the top of my head. I'm just telling you, watching season 1, watching season 2, episode to episode, how I felt about it. And I think most people will say the same.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying, like, I just need the ending to be better. If it ends all peaceful, I probably won't watch it. I'm like, I mean, I'll skim it, but like,
you're not gonna be holding your breath. So
yeah, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't wait for this to come back out. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be like,
right. Yeah, you check it. Hey, see.
And then again, I feel like I kind of gotta watch it
because you already invested so much time, right?
No, not just that, but also since I like Naruto so much, it's kind of basically the same thing when you go from Naruto to Boruto.
Shit. Listen, I dropped Boruto. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, I'm just saying because they had like a peaceful beginning,
Mm.
into some like really.
I don't think it's gonna. We'll see. I don't know what the manga looks like. I don't know how it kept going. A lot of
You
people
usually
say,
don't want to read.
nah, this ain't one of them I'm gonna read. I ain't gonna lie to you. But a lot of people say it's one of the best stories ever told, and well, I guess we'll see.
So what you think gonna happen? Like I
Man,
got my theory for the last episode. But what you
I
got?
think it's just gonna be a peaceful ending. He's gonna listen. It's gonna be some emotion. He's gonna see his sister and mother for the first time in years. They're gonna have conversations. He's gonna talk about who he is, and then at the end of it, him and Einar are gonna set off for Vinland. You're just gonna see him on the boat going towards Vinland, and whatever that means is what it means.
That ending would be so terrible, and I would be mad.
That's what I personally think is gonna happen. So, hey, we got one more episode, one more Monday to get through to see what's actually gonna happen. I agree with AD. Hopefully his hope for the last season finale is gonna be that, but unfortunately, I think we're gonna get my prediction of the ending of this season 2. That's how it's gonna go down. But yeah, that's it. A little bit of disgust in your face right now. You don't even want to fathom the
No, I'm
ending.
picturing it. I'm just like, bro, it can't just end so trash like that. That'll be like,
Hey man, be careful with your words, man. Some people are gonna take offense to that verbiage on their anime. But
if they want it to end like that, then they crazy too. That's wild.
hey man, they're gonna tell you don't know yet. Wait, you gotta wait till season 3 comes out. But honestly, again, I don't think there's gonna be season 3 because of this. It's just way too slow. I don't think it's gonna be well received since the numbers are gonna go down. I don't think they're gonna produce a season 3. But we'll find out. One more episode. Let us know in the comments, guys. Subs or dubs. Peace.